Hello all, Jamie here with a quick idea for you to make a beautiful Christmas card. Today we're going to be focusing on our ice gold pearl card. Now if you haven't seen this already, it comes in packs of 10 and also huge value packs of 100 sheets of A4 that are just an incredible bargain. I've been using the Classic Poinsettia die set from our Essential Christmas collection, and I've gone ahead and I've die cut lots and lots of layers, as you can see. Now working on a sheet, I'm going to bring in our quick dry pigment inks in squirrel red and chameleon green, and I'm going to brush over the elements. As our classic poinsettia die set cuts, it also debosses loads of details into the petals, which when we glide over the top with some ink, creates this incredible two-tone effect. I'm now using a bone folder to just go and round out each of the leaves on the flowers to give that sort of domed effect or sort of raised effect. There's many ways you could shape these, but this is by far the quickest and I always think one of the most effective ways to build these up. Now I've started with the middle of my flower and I've gone through the different layers. I've used 2 of each of the sizes of this more sort of elongated oval style petal. We will be adding a couple of layers in a moment to the base of this flower using the more sort of foliage style of the petals, I suppose. Now these ones are the ones I've coloured with the chameleon green ink. Now whenever we colour pearl card with ink, something really cool happens. I don't know if you've noticed this yourselves before, but when you colour pearl card, the pearlescence still shines through and you end up with your colour you've added taking on that pearl shimmer. So it's a really cool effect to work with. Now I needed 3 of these flowers for my project, so I've gone ahead and created these without making you watch me do all of them because that'd be a bit boring. And I'm going to bring in now for my background panel a piece of the pearl card, and I've brought in the Latin script DL stamp, and I'm going to use the elephant grey from the quick dry pigment inks to go across the stamp and stamp it down onto our lovely ice gold card. Now, being honest with you, at this stage, I wasn't too sure what I was doing with this and where this was going to go, but I love this Latin script. And I always feel scripts work really nicely for Christmas cards too. So I knew that's what I wanted to work with. And so I thought we'll just have a little play and see. I wanted to add more depth to this, so I bought in our pinstripe 8x8 stencil and using my Pro Cut die cutting machine with its rubber mat, I've sent it through, so I've embossed that pinstripe line onto that panel. I've then gone ahead and I've trimmed that panel down to create my first layer for this project. And this pearl layer is 6¼ inches by 6¼ inches. I've then cut another pearl layer, which you can see at the moment I'm colouring with the same red ink just so it ties in. That one's 6½ inches. And I've also cut a gold mirror card level, which is 6¾ inches. And I'm using my 1mm foam tape. This is our new 50-metre roll foam tape that I've bought in, and I can quickly tear that, place that onto the backs of the layers and build these up. And I love working with this 1mm foam tape because it's not too deep, so I can use it for every layer without making too much height. I'm then bringing in our Merry Christmas circle sentiment and the fluted circles, and I'm cutting these out so that I can make up my middle parts of my card. I knew as I placed down one of my layers, I added a red fingerprint mark to it. So that kind of gave me a bit of a guidance on where I was going to go building up because I needed to cover that bit up. And being a Christmas card, I couldn't rely on a butterfly. So I've brought in my Merry Christmas, I've placed that down in the centre. We're going to add on our first poinsettia to cover up that finger mark. We're going to add one below it and then one up diagonally above those as well. And at this stage I knew I needed some foliage. So I've gone back to our Essential Christmas collection, bought in a couple of the foliage dies, and I'm going to go ahead and cut those out of the same ice gold cardstock. And I know I'm going to need a few of these, so I've gone ahead and sort of batch cut these. Now I will be adding some colours to these too because I really like the idea of them toning in with the rest of the card and of course complementing the flowers. So for the ferny ones I'm going to be using the same chameleon green quick dry pigment ink to brush around the edges of those. For the other cuts I'm going to use the same elephant grey quick dry pigment ink to add some colour into these, and I've done that intentionally so that they match in with the script stamp that I've used in the background. I always like to try and bring the colours from the background to the foreground as well, so I know everything coordinates and matches in. So as I've done my dry run, I could see how many of these I was going to need, so now it's time to get busy inking and then we can start thinking about adding these back in place. Now, while you're watching me do this, just a quick little bit of waffle here. If you fall in love with any of the items that I share with you on this video and you would like to find them, pop onto the www.jamierodgerscrafts.com website and check out our stockists list. We have an amazing array of stockists all around the world that will be able to help you track down these items. In the description to this video, I will also place a list of all of the items I've used with their product codes too, so you can easily track them down and find them if you too would like to add these items to your collections. Now I'm using some of our clear drying glue here, and I'm just dipping in the items so I can post them underneath my flowers and make sure that they're adhered nicely onto the card. Once I'd finished this card off with a few gems and pearls, I did decide after filming that I needed a ribbon to finish it off. So I added a tiny little 6mm organza ribbon to the edge of it. You'll see that in the picture at the end as we sort of pan over it, but that was a late addition to my concept. I hope you've enjoyed today's video and this has given you a bit of inspiration on how you could be layering these collections and building up these ideas, and of course working with our ice cold card. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.